Hi guys, in the previous session we understood vertical balance sheet. Now, as I mentioned in the earlier class, today I will take the next part of the chapter, analysis of financial statements, and now what I'll be discussing in this session and solving a basic sum also is vertical income statement. I mentioned in the previous class that in this chapter there are 4 parts, and for the first 2 parts, vertical balance sheet and vertical income statement is important. That is the reason I have taken the previous session on balance sheet. Now I am taking on income statement because this will be the base of the next 2 parts which are a part of your syllabus. Okay guys, now see, when I say vertical income statement, vertical format, we understood balance sheet as I told you, instead of having left and right, like left side pay liabilities and assets, we did sources and application. Similarly, when I say vertical income statement, you all know FYJC SYJC में final accounts किया है. What do we do for income statement? Trading account, profit and loss account, balance sheet का part हो गया. So when I say vertical income statement, that is nothing but converting your trading P&L into vertical format. Converting the trading account and the profit and loss account into the vertical format is called as vertical income statement. Getting it? It's very simple. Now, how we had a format for balance sheet, similarly, we have a format for income statement. Again, like balance sheet, as far as your SYJC level is concerned, the level is pretty much basic. Now, same like the earlier class, I have made a basic sum, but before we start the sum, let me discuss what is the format and what items comes right from starting till the end. Okay, now see, for any company, the main source of revenue is that source where you get majority of your income. As far as your syllabus is concerned, you just have trading concern. That means people who deal in goods, buying and selling of goods. So tell me now, when you're doing a business of trading in goods, what is the major item from where you get money, revenue? Sales. So your vertical income statement will always start with sales. Okay, now listen, I'll go step by step. Sometimes there are no returns, sales returns. Sometimes there will be sales return. So we always start with the sales. Now see, suppose there are sales return. So you will start with gross sales. When I do the sum, I will do it in the proper order. Right now, just understand. Whatever is my gross sales amount, I will take that. From that, I will deduct the sales return, or we call it as return inward. And after deducting the return, what remains is my net sales. After deducting the returns, what remains is my net sales. If the question mentions sales return, then you will do this. And if sales return is not there in the question, your sum will straight away start with net sales. If sales return is not there in the question, your sum will straight away start with net sales. Okay. So if returns there, write gross sales less sales return, difference net sales. And if returns are not there, it will straight away start with net sales. Clear? So your income statement starts with net sales. Now, after you get net sales, from the net sales, we will deduct something called as cost of goods sold. Something called as cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold is nothing but adjustment of all the items which appear in trading account. Cost of goods sold is adjustment of all the items which appear in trading account. Tell me, trading account में क्या क्या आता है? Sales is done. Other than sales, trading में क्या क्या आता है? Main items. Opening stock, wages, purchases. अगर purchase return है तो भी minus from purchases, carriage inward, all direct expenses, factory expenses, and credit side में closing stock. Goods destroyed by fire, lost by theft भी आता है, but forget that as far as this chapter is concerned. So adjustment of all the items which are there in trading account comes here. Now when you make the format now, here also like balance sheet, you will make two columns. When I come to a particular one or two sums, if required, we'll see three columns. Otherwise, today we will understand adjustment in two columns only. Sales, so you will straight away write in the second column. Cost of goods sold, what you will do in the two columns. Okay, ये मेरा net sales बाहर इधर आ जाएगा. Let me make it like that. Net sales इधर आ गया. Okay, now cost of goods sold. Tell me, how does trading account start? Which is the first item of trading account? Opening stock. So we always start with opening stock. Okay, whatever is the sum का figure, we put it in the first column. याद रखना, my heading is cost of goods sold, so cost of goods sold का figure will come in the second column. Okay, so opening stock. After that, what? Purchases. Purchases, we will add it. Whatever comes on the debit side, we'll add. Now see, अगर purchase return है, so put purchase in the inside column, deduct returns and then take it outside. And if purchase returns are not there, like how I have written, then what comes? Then you have, then you have direct expenses like wages, carriage inward. You all know these are all direct expense. This is just basic. I'm just focusing on the basic. Whatever items are debited in trading account are added. Okay. Now we will take the total of this in the first column only. We will take the total of this in the first column. From this, now what we have done? We have added debit side. Now we will deduct credit. But when you deduct credit now, not below this list, thoda under. In the actual sum, I'll show you. You will deduct closing stock. Now see, the total of debit side of trading account minus closing stock, you will take it in the second column. The debit side of trading account minus closing stock, take it in the second column. And net sales minus this difference is nothing but the difference what we get when we actually make the trading account. बोलो trading account का difference क्या होता है? Gross profit or gross loss. So this difference is nothing but gross profit. Getting it? This is the first part. So I'll repeat. Sales दिया है directly, no returns. Straight away start with net sales. If sales returns are there, put gross sales. Gross sales में से sales return minus करो. That gives you the difference, that is net sales. From that, deduct cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold में put one below the other. Opening stock, purchases, wages, carriage inward, whatever are the expenses which come on the debit side of trading, add all of them. From that, deduct closing stock. Take the answer outside. This is cost of goods sold. Net sales minus cost of goods sold gives you gross profit. Got it? This is the first part. Okay, we got the gross profit. Now I'll continue after the gross profit. Okay, understand this format, and the sum is based on that only. Now see here guys, we did till gross profit. Now I got the gross profit, correct? From this gross profit, we will deduct expenses. Now understand this. When I say expenses, first of all, only business expense has to come here. Personal expenses don't come here. So business expenses are further classified into two categories: operating, non-operating. Expenses in business will be classified in two categories: operating and non-operating. दोनों का difference ये, I don't know how many of you will recollect FYJC. Operating expenses are those expenses. Operating expenses are those expenses which are a regular part of your business activities. Operating expenses are those expenses which are a part of your regular day-to-day business activities. And non-operating expense are related to business, but they are not a part of your day-to-day business activities. Now, say for example, यहाँ पे AC चल रहा है. This is the classroom. It is my business profession. Okay. When I buy the AC, I'm using it for giving tuitions. Every year, when I prepare my accounts, I will provide depreciation. That is operating expense. Tomorrow, say after 5, 7, 8 years, AC खराब हो गया. It is not worth repairing. I'll have to discard it. Correct? और मैंने डिस्कार्ड किया, मेरे बुक्स में समझो एसी का वैल्यू है 5000. आफ्टर डिडक्टिंग एवरी ईयर का डेप्री फॉर से 8 years, the value of AC is 5000 in my books. I have to throw it away, discard or sell it at a low price. 5000 मेरी वैल्यू है. If I sell it for 7000, I earn 2000 का प्रॉफिट. If I sell it for 3000, 5 का 3, 2000 का लॉस. I'll repeat, 5000 की वैल्यू है, 7000 में बेचा, 2000 का प्रॉफिट. 5000 की वैल्यू है, सेकंड केस सोल्ड इट फॉर 3000, सो 2000 का एक्सपेंस है. सो व्हाट विल हैपन? लॉस एंड प्रॉफिट. नाउ टेल मी, मेरा काम एसी बेचना है. माय जॉब इज नॉट टू सेल एसी, बट एसी इज बीइंग यूज्ड इन द बिजनेस. सो व्हेन आई सेल द एसी, whatever profit or loss I earn, that will be non-operating. अगर profit on sale of AC हुआ, non-operating income. अगर loss on sale of AC हुआ, non-operating expense. But when I provide depre on AC, that is my operating expense. Getting it? Similarly, you all have done na, final accounts में goods destroyed by fire, loss by fire, loss by theft. Tell me, आग रोज लगने वाली है? चोरी रोज होने वाली है? नहीं ना, बट वो हो रहा है बिजनेस में. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ नॉन ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंस. सो नॉन ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस एंड इनकम आर दोज which arise in the business, but they don't occur regularly. They are not a part of regular business activities. So now the first step is, from my gross profit I deduct operating expenses. I deduct operating expenses. From my gross profit, I deduct operating expenses. Okay, I'll deduct operating expenses. Now, when I say operating expenses are of three categories. First, it is classified in three categories. First is called as office expense. We also call it as administrative expenses. So the first is office, or we call it as administrative expenses. All expenses which are incurred in office comes here. जैसे कि सैलरी पेड टू ऑफिस स्टाफ, ऑफिस का इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल, ऑफिस का रेंट, प्रिंटिंग एंड स्टेशनरी, ऑडिट फीस, अकाउंट फीस, ऑल दैट कम्स इन ऑफिस एंड एडमिन. तुमको SYJC में डिटेल नहीं है. Majority of the sum में they will straight away give you. There are hardly sums where breakup is given, that also 2 3. Okay, so let's not get deep into deep. When I start with the regular sums, that time we will see 1 or 2 sums where there are items, but right now just understand the basic. So I gave you a few examples. Now see, if office expense ka total is straight away given, you will put it in the first column. If there is a breakup, put it in the inner to inner column, or you can make a third column. Suppose there are 3 types of office expenses, put all of them one below the other, put the amount in the inner column and take it here, or you can take a third column. So the final figure of office expenses will come here. So office expenses or admin expenses are those expenses which are incurred as a part of your day-to-day business activity, and in this case incurred in office only. What example वापस दे रहा हूँ. Office salary, office rent, printing and stationery, postage, courier, telegrams, audit fees, accounting charges, sundry expense, all trade expenses, all that comes in this. So the first category of operating expenses was office or admin. Now we take the second, selling and distribution expenses. Selling and distribution expenses. What are these? Expenses which one incurs. Expenses which one incurs to sell or market the product is called as selling and distribution expenses. Expenses which one incurs to sell and market the product is called as selling and distribution expenses. Example, carriage inward we pay on purchase of goods, direct expense. Carriage outward we pay on sale of goods. So carriage outward is an indirect expense, therefore selling and distribution expenses. Sales promotion, advertisement, then giving away free samples, discount, bad debts, all are selling expenses. When you sell the good, delivery expenses, marketing expenses, salary of salesmen, commission to salesmen, all that comes under selling and distribution. So in short, any expenses incurred to sell, market or deliver the product comes under the head selling and distribution expenses. So selling and distribution expenses is that expense which one incurs for selling, marketing or delivering the product. Again, I repeat the examples: carriage outward, discount, bad debts, carriage outward, salesman salary, commission, advertisement, free samples, all that. Again, the same thing. If they give you directly the amount which is there in today ka sum, put it here. Otherwise, put the breakup and take the total. Okay. Now, operating expenses is classified in 3 categories: office admin, selling, and now the third one, that will be finance expense. The third one, that will be finance expense. Now finance expense, I'll just put crosses here, sorry I forgot that. Finance expense are those expenses which are incurred for raising money or for usage of money. Example, charges charged by bank charges. किसी से लोन लिया, लोन पे इंटरेस्ट पे किया, कैश डिस्काउंट कस्टमर्स को दिया, All these are type of finance expenses. जाके हम लोग डीडी निकालते हैं, बैंक डीडी चार्जेस चार्ज करता है, that is a part of bank charges. So finance expense means expenses incurred for raising money or for usage of money. Bank charges, interest on loan, you will have done bills of exchange, bill discounting charges, all that comes in this. Now यहाँ पे there are few items which can be considered in selling and distribution and finance, but uska weightage it is not at all there in SYJC syllabus, that is in degree, so मैं उसके ऊपर focus नहीं कर रहा हूँ. Okay, so I gave you the finance expense, again the same thing, total दिया है तो सीधा यहाँ पे otherwise breakup लेके total. So these are my three operating expenses. So operating expenses classified in three categories: office, we also call it as admin, selling and distribution, and finance. Take the total of these two. From gross profit, deduct operating expense. From gross profit, deduct operating expense, and the difference what you get, that will be your operating profit. The difference what you get, that will be your operating profit. Got it? Clear with this? So operating profit is the profit earned from your conduction of day-to-day business activities connected with your principal business activity. जैसे starting में I gave you example AC का. Okay? Now operating part is done. Now we come to non-operating. Operating also there's an extra part, but again it is not in your syllabus at SYJC level. So after operating, now I go to non-operating, and the first thing what I will do is add non-operating income. Add non-operating income. Okay, now see, I gave you starting में example. I sell the AC, मेरा रोज का बिजनेस नहीं है. कोई भी दूसरा फिक्स एसेट है, I have an investment. If I encash it, it is not my day-to-day business to buy and sell investment. So profit on sale of assets, profit on sale of fixed assets, profit on sale of investments, all these are considered as non-operating income. मैंने शेयर्स में इन्वेस्ट किया, डिविडेंड मिला, नॉन ऑपरेटिंग इनकम. इन्वेस्टमेंट किया, इंटरेस्ट मिला, नॉन ऑपरेटिंग इनकम, बिकॉज दैट इज नॉट माई डे टू डे बिजनेस एक्टिविटी. सो नॉन ऑपरेटिंग इनकम में क्या क्या आता है? इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड, डिविडेंड रिसीव्ड, profit on sale of fixed assets, profit on sale of investments, all that comes in the category non-operating income. Breakup दिया है तो put it in the first column, और अगर direct total दिया है तो straight away take it in the total column. Okay, now see, operating profit plus non-operating profit, we will take the total. टेक्स्ट बुक्स में इसमें से डायरेक्टली नॉन ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंस माइनस किया. आई प्रेफर डूइंग दिस you will call it as total income. This you will call it as total income. When I say total income, मतलब it is operating profit as well as non-operating. Total income में operating non-operating दोनों आ गया. Okay, operating non-operating दोनों comes. Now from the total income I will deduct non-operating expenses. From the total income I will deduct non-operating expenses. Now what is non-operating expenses? Starting में I told you, loss by fire, loss by theft, tsunami आ गया, any natural calamity, all these are non-operating expense. AC बेचा, loss, non-operating expense. Loss incurred on sale of fixed asset, non-operating expense. Profit made on sale of fixed assets, non-operating income. loss on sale of investments, non-operating expense. Profit on sale of investments, non-operating income. So those profits and gains and those expenses which you incur in business, but they are not connected with day-to-day business activity, they are called as non-operating transactions. Got it? Again break up दिया है फर्स्ट कॉलम में टोटल बार, अदरवाइज स्ट्रेट अवे. नाउ टोटल इनकम में से you will minus non-operating expense, and after deducting non-operating expense, what you get, that will be called as net profit before tax. Total income में से you will deduct non-operating expense, and वो जो difference है, that will be your net profit before tax. So from total income, deduct non-operating expense, and this is your net profit before tax. Now when I say tax, before tax मतलब before income tax. यहाँ का tax is income tax. यहाँ का tax is income tax. So this is my profit earned before tax. You all know everyone has to pay income tax in the entire world, except for very few countries where there is no income tax. But income tax India में तो हम pay करते हैं. And what is income tax? Income tax is the tax paid on income. Now suppose say for example ये income मेरा होता 5 लाख रुपया, net profit before tax. So मैं 5 लाख के ऊपर tax pay करूंगा. अगर ये होता 3 लाख, मैं 3 लाख के ऊपर tax pay करूंगा. So this is net profit before tax. Now from this, from the net profit before tax, we will deduct income tax, or you call it as provision for tax. Income tax or provision for tax. They will give you direct amount, or they suppose they say 30%. So ये जो भी amount है, suppose ये 1 लाख है, तो ये 1 लाख का 30% हो जाएगा. जितना भी percentage है, it will be profit before tax का percentage. Straight away outside, and from your net profit before tax, you will deduct income tax, और end में जो बचा वो final answer होगा, that we call it as net profit after tax. That we call it as net profit after tax. So this is your net profit after tax or final profit after tax, which goes in your capital account. Got it? Now see, for sole trader partnership यहाँ पे सम खत्म होता है. For companies यहाँ से there is a bit more, but that is not prescribed in your syllabus. That will come आगे जाके degree college में, and even the sums which are there for your FYJC, इसके आगे कुछ नहीं है. Otherwise I can explain more, but there is no point of doing that when it is not going to be asked in your syllabus. Got it? So this was vertical financial statement, and the second part, vertical income statement. Previous video में, previous session में we did balance sheet. Now income statement. I'll just brush up before I start the sum. It start with sales, net sales. अगर sales return दिया है तो gross में से sales return को minus करके get the net sales. Deduct cost of goods sold, opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock. Gross profit, net sales minus cost of goods sold gives you gross profit. From the gross profit, deduct operating expenses, which is classified in 3 categories: office admin, selling distribution, finance expense. Take the difference, that is your operating profit. To operating profit, add the non-operating income. As I told you, those incomes which are not a part of your regular business activities are non-operating income. Add operating profit plus non-operating income gives you total income. From the total income, deduct non-operating expenses. Those expenses which are not a part of your day-to-day business activities, I give you the examples. Take the difference. Total income minus non-operating expense gives you net profit before tax. From the net profit before tax, deduct income tax. After deducting income tax, what remains? That's my net profit after tax. That is the final figure. So net profit before tax minus income tax gives you net profit after tax. Got it? Just rewind and understand the explanation. Balance sheet देख लो, ये देख लो. Automatically the next two part you will find it simple, because when we do common size and comparative के sums, two parts out of the four what you have in your syllabus, if you know this, half the thing gets done. Okay, I'll just be back. I already made a format. I'll just be back and make a proper one, and then we will start with the sum. Okay guys, chalo. You all have that extra question. It's a very small question. If you have got the format, this is very straightforward. I have kept very limited items. Now first the format. The name of the firm is not given. So what you will do? Vertical income statement of dash 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 for the year ending 31st March 25. Vertical income statement of dash 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 for the year ending 31st March 25. Okay, chalo. Format same. पूरे पेज का कर लो. Particulars double column amount. Mostly it will be done. अगर short गिरा, we'll make a second page. But right now, you all just make one page only because I have kept limited items. Okay, chalo. Let's start with the sum. Because this started. Yeah. Convert the following trading and profit and loss account for the year ending 31st March 25 into vertical financial statement. Opening stock, purchase, wages, gross profit, office expense, selling expense, finance, net profit, credit side pay, sales, closing stock and gross profit. Okay, chalo, let's start. Now what I told you, you will always start with sales. Can you see returns? नहीं. What I told you, अगर sales return है, you write gross sales less sales return. अगर sales return नहीं है, तो you start with net sales. Okay. So, because there is no sales return, we start with net sales. So, net sales 10 lakhs. Okay, we start with net sales, that is 10 lakhs. From the net sales, as I told you, again I repeat, why we started with net sales? Because sales return नहीं है. अगर sales return नहीं है तो sales itself becomes net sales. From this we will deduct cost of goods sold. From this we will deduct cost of goods sold. Now see, cost of goods sold क्या आएगा cost of goods sold में? What I told you, it is nothing but a combination of all the items of trading account. Okay, cost of goods sold. Let's see. अभी देखो ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में क्या क्या है एक्सेप्ट फॉर ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट. डेबिट साइड पे देखो ओपनिंग स्टॉक, परचेसेस, वेजेस. अगेन परचेसेस में देयर आर नो रिटर्न. सो व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू, first you will add all the items of the debit side. Let's take one by one. First, there is no need to put number. Opening stock 1 lakh. Second, purchases 6 lakhs. Wages 50,000. Okay, all the items of debit side. Don't take gross profit because the difference has to be gross profit. So 1 lakh, 6 lakhs, 50,000. Anything else there on the debit side? No. So now what you do, take the total here only. Not in the second column, take the total here only. 6 and 1, 7 and 50, 7 lakh 50,000. So 1 lakh plus 6 lakh, that gives you 50,000. So 7 lakh 50,000. Now, see on the credit side, how many items? 2. Sales already done. What remains? Closing stock. Now, because closing stock comes on the credit side, we will deduct from the total of the debit. Now, don't put below this less, thoda under, less closing stock, that is 2 lakhs. That less closing stock, that is 2 lakhs. Okay. So 750 minus 2 lakhs, 5 lakh 50 becomes my cost of goods sold. 750 minus 2 lakh, 5 lakh 50 becomes my cost of goods sold. Now see what I told you. Net sales minus cost of goods sold. The difference 4 lakh 50,000. This is nothing but your gross profit. So 4 lakh 50,000 is my gross profit. Okay, 450 is my gross profit. देखो क्वेश्चन में ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट कितना है? 450. Whatever gross profit, net profit is there in the question, the same you should get. The only thing is, see इसमें profit loss कुछ change नहीं होने वाला. Only thing is we have to just convert it in vertical format. So gross profit is same. So this was trading account का conversion. यहाँ पे there is no separate trading P&L. It is vertical income which is a combination of trading and P&L. So gross profit 4,50,000. Now what I told you in the format, from the gross profit we will deduct the expenses which are incurred in the day-to-day business activities, which we call it as operating expenses. Now, operating expenses are further classified in 3 categories: admin or office expense, selling and distribution, and finance. We discussed. देखो तीनों का अमाउंट स्ट्रेट अवे दिया है, so let's put all of them one below the other. A, office expenses, फर्स्ट कॉलम में 2 lakhs. Okay. B, selling and distribution expenses. As I told you, this is a very basic sum. तुम्हारे उसमें यही लेवल आएगा. The chances of vertical income statement and balance sheet coming pure vertical format, it is less because you have common size comparative. Remember what I told you previous class and this class also. Now again I'm telling you, this is the base for common size comparative. You cannot do common size comparative without doing this. Okay, selling and distribution expenses, that is 1 lakh, and C, finance expenses, that is 50,000. Okay, so all the 3 expenses have come. Office is also called as admin. Even if you write administrative expense, fine. 2 plus 1, 3, 3 lakh 50, 450 minus 350, you get 1 lakh. Got it guys? Now listen. If you see question का net profit भी 1 lakh है, ये भी 1 lakh है. Now what I explain in the format, this is operating profit, correct? To that we add non-operating income, जो ये sum में नहीं है. Then we deduct non-operating expense, again ये sum में नहीं है. Then we deduct income tax, again ये sum में नहीं है. So what is your final answer? Net profit after tax. Now it's up to you. even if you stop here, because after this whatever is there, it is not there in the sum, you can write straight away net profit after tax. But I'm not doing that. You all can do that. If you all have followed the format properly, you can stop here and call this as net profit after tax. Now since I explained you the format, I am going according to the format. जो item नहीं है, will write nil against that. So as per the format, this 1 lakh becomes my operating profit. This 1 lakh becomes my operating profit. Okay. To this I will add non-operating income which is not there in this sum. So I am writing nil. 1 lakh plus 0 gives you 1 lakh, and this 1 lakh becomes my total income. This 1 lakh becomes my total income. Again I am repeating, instead of operating profit, since after this there is nothing else, you can straight away write against this net profit after tax and end the sum or continue with me. Now see, मेरा स्पेस खत्म हो गया. अगर तुम्हारा पेज खत्म हो गया तो ही एक्सटेंड करो, अदरवाइज कंटिन्यू. ओके, आई जस्ट कंटिन्यू अ बिट हियर. Total income 1 lakh. Now from this I will deduct non-operating expenses. I gave you the example starting का देख लेना. Again in this sum there are no non-operating expenses. So 1 lakh minus 0 again gives you 1 lakh. 1 lakh minus 0 gives you 1 lakh, and this 1 lakh will be your net profit before tax. This 1 lakh will be net profit before tax. And what I told you, this tax is income tax. From this you deduct income tax or provision for tax. Again ये sum में नहीं है. So 1 lakh minus 0, 1 lakh. This is my final answer, that is net profit after tax. This is my final answer, that is net profit after tax. Got it? So this is my net profit after tax. Clear with this, guys? Got it? I'll repeat again. Had you written against this 1 lakh net profit after tax and not written all this, तो भी चलता था. But because I discussed the format sometime back in this session only, I didn't want to create a confusion. But those who are comfortable, यहाँ पे sum खत्म कर दो, चलेगा. Because there are no items, there is no need to. Again I'll repeat the same thing. Question का जो trading P&L है, final net profit is 1 lakh. यहाँ का final net profit is 1 lakh. As I told you, gross profit, net profit given in the question has to match. Got it, guys? So this was vertical income statement. To avoid more confusion, I made a separate recording for balance sheet, vertical balance sheet, and separate for income, so you can watch it aram se. So that's it, guys. We discuss in this session how to convert your trading profit and loss into vertical format, that we call it as vertical income statement. Hope it is clear. If not, please watch it again. Rewind करते रहो. ये YouTube पे open है, so you don't have any restriction of views. Even those who are watching, those who are studying with me this chapter, app पे you all have more number of views. So please understand. Next class में I will take a video, a recording on comparative statement. And keep in mind, Till the time you don't know balance sheet, you don't know income statement, you won't be able to solve comparative. Comparative, they will not ask you both. Either they'll ask you comparative balance sheet or they will ask you comparative income statement. So till the time you don't know balance sheet, vertical balance sheet, till the time you don't know this format, you cannot do the next two parts, comparative statements and common size statement. So please see to it that you are perfect with this. That's it guys. I wind up here. Take care and please do revise and be thorough before we meet in the next class where I'll be starting comparative statements. Till then, take care guys.